So it is Friday morning, weekly weigh-in time. I got off the scale this morning at 8 a.m. I have not run. I had not drank any water or anything before I got on the scale. I'm going to be consistent moving forward about not running before I get on the scale because now I'm like questioning everything. Just a couple of weeks ago, I had gotten to 250, but I did do a run before. It's just a thing where I just roll out of bed and I don't want to do anything else before I run because I feel like if I were to go record my weigh-in video and then go, it's gonna turn into I'll do it in an hour. I'll do it in an hour. So when I get out of bed on the days I run, I just get up and go straight to running. I don't do anything else before. So that's more the reason I do it that way. Because if I don't and then I procrastinate, it's gonna turn into an afternoon and all day thing, and I'm just gonna be annoyed. So but want to be consistent in terms of the state of my body when I'm weighing myself. So I'm going to try to avoid running. There may be days where my schedule shifts around and I have to run on a Friday morning, but I always make sure I announce that. But I'm just curious as to how much of an impact that makes. But I just want to be consistent moving forward. All in all, great week. Kept my diet in check. And I was a little easy on the running because I went pretty hard in my race. So my go forward schedule in terms of training for the marathon is going to be running Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then Sunday. Where Sunday will be my long days, and then I'll have a semi-long day Sunday during the week where I'll do somewhere from 6 to 8. I'll have a tempo day on Saturdays where I'm running at marathon pace for somewhere in the ballpark of 4 to 6 miles at a 9:30 pace. I want to beat that into my brain, but I'll get into that later. But for now, let's see where I'm at in terms of my weight for the week. So, um, so when I go to weight, health stats, weight, and I'm coming in at 257.1 for the week. BMI of 28.9, body fat 30.5, skeletal muscle mass 94.8, bone mass 14.7, and then let's check the 7-day averages and the trend. So my 7-day average is 257.8, BMI 7-day average is 28.9, body fat just still hovering around 30, and skeletal muscle mass right at 95, body water 19.9. And then just going back a week, I was 260 on Saturday, at going up at 8 tenths of a pound, and then Monday, day after my half marathon, I was 258 Tuesday, Wednesday 256. Yesterday it was 255. I don't know why I've come up. I don't know. I mean, I had steak for dinner last night. But that's the 7-day averages. Average weight of 257.9. And again, for the week, I'm coming in at 257.1. So all in all, I'm down, I think about 2.5, 3 pounds from last week. I was 259, I believe, last week. But I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't think it's terribly relevant at this point. The big thing with me is I'm going to cut out the fasting just because my level of activity is just so astronomically high. I am going to run 5 days a week, and I'm really going to try to push to get somewhere between 40 to 50 miles on top of lifting 3 days a week for an hour. And 3 days this week I worked until 10 p.m. Like I just have, and I started one of those days at 7 a.m. and the other 2 days at 8 a.m. I just have such an incredibly high level of activity that I think I just need to cut back on the fasting. Last year it wasn't a problem when I was running, 30 miles a week consistently, and I didn't lift on the days that I fasted, and I was not working these hours. Like, I'm really pushing myself very, very hard. I worked both days last week. I mean, I worked Saturday for a few. I was at my desk at 6:30 and worked until 9. And then on Sunday, despite the fact that I woke up in Frederick at 4 a.m., ran a half marathon, I came back and worked 3 hours in the afternoon. The demands on me are very, very high. My activity level is just so high, coupled with I'm going to be running more miles than last week and I'm lifting much more consistently than last year. I think I just need to cut out the fasting because my fatigue level is just so much higher than last year. When I was running the 30 miles a week last year, I was only running 4 days a week. I did two 10-milers and two 5-milers a week. Um, and it didn't bother me. I don't know how else to put it. It just didn't bother me that much. So I would fast 2 days a week, actually 3 days a week. I was fasting Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And on Wednesday, I was doing a 10-miler on nothing but water, but it was all on the treadmill. It was all zone 2, so low heart rate, low impact. It was tiring, and that was definitely my most difficult day of the week. But my level of fatigue now is just far and away from what I was feeling last year. So I'm going to increase my food intake. The one thing I've just really tried to hone in on is my diet. Every time I see a spike in my weight, it's like the first thing I start thinking is I gotta run more miles, I gotta lift more, I gotta do, increase my physical activity. And the one thing I've just come to the realization is these knee-jerk reactions are not sustainable. The big thing is the not so exciting stuff, the eating my salmon, the eating my trifecta meals twice a day and staying away from eating out. That's really what's going to determine whether I'm successful or not. It's like I have this obsession with being at 250 because that was my goal last year, and it's hard for me to admit to myself that I've gained weight despite all of this activity this year, all the lifting, all the running I've done. I've run an incredible amount this year. But despite all of that, my diet has not been as what it was last year, where I was just really locked in. And I really want to stay away from talking about last year. But I just recognize that what's going to make or break this is staying consistent. The funny thing is everyone that asks me about my weight loss asks me about my working out. And the face they make when I talk about this was primarily a function of my diet, and I've gotten away from that. And that's really going to be my focus. This week, I'm recognizing my habits have changed now that I'm out of the house. It was a lot easier in 2020 because I was in the house all the time. The only thing I would do was go out for a walk. But now I'm out and about. Now I can go sit in a restaurant and eat. And there's much more, social events. I'm going to brunch with some friends tomorrow. There are lots of reasons to go out and eat where there wasn't last year. And so that's something I've struggled with, as I've said in previous videos. It's just like every week there's something going on. Tomorrow we're going to brunch with friends. Next weekend is my birthday, going on vacation in August. And these outside factors were not there last year. So that's something I really have to make a decision on. Am I serious about getting my weight down? This week I made the decision to eat properly, but it just seems very difficult. It's much more difficult now than it was when I was in lockdown. And I'm sure, I was about to say, I'm sure a lot of people are feeling the same, but most people are telling me they gained a ton of weight during the lockdown. For me, I just really locked in on my fitness, and with these external social events, it's not as easy to do that. And it's not just social events. It's like I want to spend time with my wife, so we go for walks. But Wednesday we went to Nando's for lunch. I always want to just say, oh, let's go have lunch. Like sitting down and eating, that's like such a huge social element, and that's something I'm struggling with. I wanted to ask my wife to go to lunch yesterday, and I didn't, because I know I'm going to eat something that I probably shouldn't be eating versus just eating one of my trifecta meals. I've been eating these meal delivery services meals for a year now. It was exciting when I first got it, doing this meal service. I'm paying for it, but now that I've had the same meals over and over, they're like 30 or 40 meals. So there isn't anything I haven't had before. And so when I'm eating something for the 25th time versus the second time, it's not nearly as appealing, but I have to maintain the discipline. Those meals were a staple of my diet last year, and they were a huge part of the reason I was so successful. I have gained weight this year. I'm not happy about that. I haven't gained a ton of weight. I mean, I'm 7 pounds over my goal from last year, so I'm not gonna make a big stink about it, but I keep going in my head. It's like now it's late July and I'm still above where I was last November. So I'm really gonna hone in on staying on my diet. The working out I'll do. I've pretty much always done it, even when I was 300 pounds. But I recognize the difference really is the diet. I'm going to let the fasting go because I just think my level of activity is too high. When I finish with the 2 marathons I have coming up, I'll consider going back to it. It is not a problem for me. The big thing with me is just feeling so incredibly fatigued because I'm pushing my body too hard, and I just don't think it's a good idea for me health wise to be fasting 2 to 3 days a week and trying to run 50 miles a week and lift 3 days a week and work 50, 60 hour weeks. So I'm going to cut the fasting for the foreseeable future, at least through the marathon, and I'm not going to have knee-jerk reactions again if I have a bad weekend, and start trying to fast. Like last week, I fasted Tuesday, Wednesday, and I was like, I'm gonna do Thursday, but then I felt so fatigued. I said, let me not do this to myself. Like it's not sustainable, and it's gonna lead to a binge reaction. So, um, that's kind of my thinking. I just have to focus one day at a time, one week at a time, on staying on my diet. I can run all I want, I can lift all I want. I have a video somewhere last October. I ran 30 miles in a week and gained 5 pounds. And I said I ate junk. I think I ate fast food like 3 or 4 times. It was a stressful week. I remember it was during the budget, so I'm sure it's probably either September or October. But I ran 30 miles in a week and gained 5 pounds. So I recognize that the exercise and the running and lifting is kind of like the chisel, but the jackhammer really is the diet. And if I'm going to be successful at this, I need to just string together week after week after week, like I just had. No junk food, no real cheat meals. I went to dinner with a friend on Sunday night. I had lamb and vegetables. I did have a slice of cheesecake to celebrate my victory, but I'm not going to kill myself over that. But no cheat meals. I don't think having no cheat meals is sustainable long term. So I'm not going to try to do that, but the focus needs to be on eating these trifecta meals, on intermittent fasting, keeping my eating to that 8 hour window, and staying away from eating out. That really has to be my focus going forward. Really staying disciplined and staying on these meals. So that's what I'm going to focus on moving forward. But good week all in all. And I just need to focus. I need to continue to focus on my diet. And I know most of my videos are about me working out, but the focus moving forward has to be on my diet. I'm just not going to be successful any other way. So good week all in all. And for now, Fareed Fitness signing off.